What's up, world? Let me tell you about this beard growth oil I got from 12 tribes on Earth. 8 ounces of oily goodness with a nozzle that prevents sprays and spills, and soft ingredients that make it perfect addition to anyone's morning routine. From coconut to castor, all these oils are hand chosen. After using this herbal blend, the biggest thing I noticed is how soft and how strong my hair was, and how good I feel. Pick up your bottle today and make your beard the star of the show.
Shalom, family. Good to see you all. Hope you're doing well. Man, it's been a long time since I spoke about Daniel Cameron. I had a lot of fun putting him up with those raccoons. That was actually a lot of fun. And he ran for Senate. Now, many of you know that Mitch McConnell is leaving at the end of this year, and his seat is now open for election. So Daniel Cameron ran to get Mitch McConnell's seat. And there was another white man that was running right along with him. His name was Andy Barr. Andy Barr is white. And, Daniel Cameron, Donald Trump had favorable things to say about him in the past. And many of us never got over the fact that Daniel Cameron did nothing to get Breonna Taylor justice. And that really was his demise right there in the community. And he just can't seem to bounce back. Now, if you remember, just a few years ago, he ran for governor. He lost to Andy Beshear. This time, Donald Trump backed Andy Barr. He did not back Daniel Cameron. And I think he was actually embarrassed by that. Donald Trump had them all up at the Oval Office and everything, because I think he was at one point considering him to be Attorney General, but he did not pick Daniel Cameron. But so I think he felt that Donald Trump would back him because he's backed him before in the past. Even when he ran for governor, Donald Trump, endorsed him. But no, I think this actually shocked him. Donald Trump went with the white guy, and the white guy is the one that won, Andy Barr. So you're going to see this. You're going to see how he reacted. Oh, yeah. Oh, hell yeah, it's karma. Yeah. And, even in the videos that I'm going to show you, you're going to still hear him trying to pat himself on the back for backing the police and stuff. And let me tell you something. Republicans, Democrats, if you are melanated and you back the police, that is of no value. That is of no value, for real. Because at the end of the day, they're not going to back you up. They're not. And even if they do, it's just for political reasons, and that's it. But as you can see, now that Daniel Cameron he's really just a regular citizen now. He's just a regular citizen. People ain't backing him up like they used to. They're not backing him up. I mean, you lost the race. Where were the police for you, Daniel Cameron? Where were the police to help you win? At the end of the day, you are in Kentucky. There ain't no way they want some interracial couple running for Senate and representing them for the Senate. I'm just being real. Just like I knew they did not want an interracial couple in the governor's mansion in Kentucky. They didn't want that. They didn't want to see that all the time. You and your white wife. They didn't want to see that. It's Kentucky, or the other name for it, Clan-tucky. We know Clan-tucky was not ready for that. So, y'all, let me go ahead and share my screen so you can hear what he said and what other people said. Okay. Yep. Please give me a 1 if you can see my screen. Thank you.
I mean, it's honestly one of the interesting places that they've tried to attack me, because I've been endorsed by over 100 law enforcement officials. I mean, people know my track record when it comes to standing firm for them, standing in support of law and order. I tell people all the time, Senator Schickel's heard me say this, you know, my law enforcement position can be summed up in a Waylon Jennings song that starts off with, "I'm for law and order, the way that it should be." And I think that
Daniel Cameron, you're full of shit, because if you are for law and order, then you should have done something for Breonna Taylor. See, that would have been the right thing to do, but you didn't. You let that woman get no justice all this time, and her family was begging and pleading for you to do something about the cops that just unalived her for no reason. If anybody should be here, it should be Breonna Taylor. There was no justifiable reason for taking her out like that. But if you were about law and order, man, you should have done something about Breonna Taylor. And the fact that you didn't, you're just full of shit and you are babbling up a bunch of nonsense.
think all of us, know the importance of having someone that's going to stand with law enforcement when it's difficult. And the fact of the matter is that, you know, there were other folks that are in this race right now that when I was taking a courageous stand for law enforcement, were calling them racist.
That's exactly right.
You can literally look at social media posts by the other major candidate in this race who referred to racism being the reason that what happened in that apartment that night. And so I feel very confident in my position and why law enforcement is supporting me.
Yeah.
I wonder how Daniel Cameron, who's a candidate who's trying to get Mitch McConnell's seat for U.S. Senator in Kentucky.
Another Trump-backed nominee, Andy Barr, has won the Kentucky Senate primary race in Kentucky. President Trump endorsed Andy Barr, and he urged Nate Morris to drop out. Andy Barr is a 7-time congressman. He will be a heavy general election favorite against the Democratic nominee. Kentucky has not elected a Democrat to the Senate since it gave Wendell Ford his 4th and final term in 1992. Democrats want you to believe that the president doesn't have pull anymore, that his party is falling apart. But with these Trump-backed nominees winning, we see that that's total bullshit. As I stated earlier, you can disagree with the president. You are going to disagree with some things that he says and does. But when you try to stop his agenda from moving forward, that's a problem. And you will certainly pay for it in these elections. Y'all have a wonderful night now. God bless you.
You've had Republicans, including Andy Barr himself, ask you to drop out and support him in the race.
Andy Barr spent 10 months on the campaign trail at Lincoln dinners. You all probably captured some of this as well, saying that he thought competition was good for the Republican Party. I agree with it. Competition is good. If anyone should have to drop out of this race, it's certainly not me. I'm leading in the polls. There's been only one poll that has shown that Andy Barr is ahead in this race. Every other poll has shown that I am in the lead. I know there are countless internal polls that people have cited to and pointed to that have shown that I'm in the lead. So there's no dropping out. There's only victory for Team Cameron on May 19th.
Yes.
Woo! Absolutely not.
A week ago, we were right outside of this room here, and I asked you if you had ever disagreed with anything President Trump has ever said or done. I have to ask you again.
I disagree with this decision on Andy Barr.
Is that the only thing?
Have you had any conversations with President Trump either before he endorsed Andy Barr or afterwards?
Well, we've talked to his team obviously a lot, and I've got good relationships over at the White House. And what I've said is that when I'm the next senator from this Commonwealth, I'm going to work with the administration to ensure that the issues and the things that are important to Kentuckians that the administration knows about. And I'm going to continue that dialogue. And but my focus between now and May 19th is ensuring that we get as many people turned out to the polls so that we ensure that we come that primary day.
If you win this election, what message does that send to the president?
I feel very confident that because of the relationship we built with the voters, we're going to win on May 19th. And I'll let the analysts in Washington and other places make a determination about what it means. But in my judgment, what it means is that Kentuckians get to make their decision about who they vote for.
Yes.
They're not going to be swayed. They're not going to be swayed or deterred or have a decision made by them or for them by people that don't live here. And I'm confident that the majority of Kentuckians are going to side with us.
Have you spoken with Thomas Massey about being on the other end of the Trump endorsement?
I have not. And look, what I am convinced of in my race is that there are a lot of folks that are upset with the process that was undertaken that got us to this spot. And there are people that are coming over from other camps, namely Mr. Morris's camp, that are now supporting us. I mean, you can look at the traffic on social media. You can see that there's been a shift in this race. And again, going to win on May 19th.
Those are people who are then not following Trump's kind of directional pointing with the endorsement. How influential do you think Trump's endorsement actually is on the voters?
Well, all I know is this, is that regardless of what that endorsement looks like, I'm confident that we have built strong loyalty and relationship with the Kentucky voter. And it's because
candidates were
Mark,
running
we're
so
just
heavily on the
learning
Trump
that
MAGA
Andy
movement.
Barr has won the Republican nomination for the U.S. Senate in Kentucky. That is official. It was a blowout against the challenger, Mr. Cameron. So, the question here, I think, Andy, for Mark, of course, for a lot of us is...
The call I got was from my campaign manager. He said, well, Nate Morse has dropped out. I said, oh, okay. And then he said, and he's endorsed Andy Barr, and President Trump has endorsed Andy Barr. And I said, well, that seems like an interesting sort of turn of events. And
in Kentucky, NBC News can project that Andy Barr will be the Republican nominee for Senate in Kentucky. That's over Daniel Cameron.
Barr, of course, endorsed by President Trump, and we are still seeing vote coming in, but our decision desk feeling confident to project Andy Barr the winner.
Baby, you was shucking and jabbing and shucking, and that man still picked a white man over you. Yes, I'm in Kentucky business today, y'all, and if you don't know who I'm talking about, I'm talking about Captain Forehead. Put a boot in the comments, and you know why. But anyways, for those of y'all that forgot who he was the Attorney General who decided he would not go after those officers that unalived Breonna Taylor. And then turned around and tried to run for governor. Baby, the city stood up and said, not today.
And when I say steady, I'm talking about my kinfolk, because we got the numbers. Don't play with us.
The side he continuously has told us right around, he will always back these people who are killing us. And that's unacceptable. This is why he doesn't deserve to be in that position. We're not making this up. He showed us that he doesn't deserve to be in that position. And we cannot allow him to get there.
He lost both seats. But anyway, there is a history behind Daniel, right? Daniel is a protege of Mitch McConnell, the Crypt Keeper. He been grooming him since he was a young man. Daniel was responsible for like writing his speeches and stuff like that. And in return of selling his soul to the Crypt Keeper he was to marry that white woman, and then he would put him into power. Don't forget the little biracial children, be a little extra. But he learned on May the 5th that no matter what, you're still black. And they're going to always pick a white man over you. They can throw all their money at the both of y'all. And guess what? Kentucky going to vote for a black man. It's going to be Charles Booker.
So y'all, how you doing, Tareen? So y'all, yes. Look like old Danny gonna have to go back to the drawing board. So he got rejected when he ran for governor, and now he got rejected when he ran for the Senate. You know, there was another video he put out, but I could not stomach it. It's him talking about his Christianity and how he believed in Christ. I was like, well, then if you believe in all of that, then you should have believed in getting justice for Breonna Taylor, man. That's what you should have believed in. So, yeah, look like Danny is still stuck being a citizen. You know, he's not in political office anymore. You know, he's not the attorney general in Kentucky. So he is back to being a regular citizen, and it looks like he just can't accept that. He keeps running for office and keep losing. And that's good for you, Dan. That is good for you. I'm loving it. Yeah, he should be, but he's not. Yeah, he should be a shameful person, but he's not. We know he's not. Yeah, and the Most High is really punishing him when it come down to them kids. I seen a picture of both the children they got, him and his wife, and they both look like her. They don't look like boy, Daniel. Those kids got her face, both of them. And I said, yeah, see, you can't even get a break on that, Danny. You know, look, even your offspring, the Most High is denying them to even look like you. They look like your wife, both of them. Serve your butt right. No, not in Kentucky. I mean, really, he was lucky to get attorney general in Kentucky. And, you know, I don't believe he's going to win because of what he did to Breonna Taylor. I don't care what office he runs for, even in the future, he's not going to win. That is my prediction for Daniel Cameron. He probably will try to make attempts to run for things again. He's never going to win. He's never, ever going to win. Tom Slick, thank you so much for the super. Is that a super? Yeah, super chat. He needs to be embarrassed, and good for his ass. Yeah. Well, judgment is definitely hitting him because he can't win. Every time he runs for office now, he can't win. And you would think he would have a good chance because he was attorney general. He had a familiar name. You know, I'm sure most people in Kentucky knows who he is, but they're sure not voting for him. That's for sure. They're like, oh, not so fast, Daniel Raccoon. Not so fast. All right, y'all. So I got another live coming up. The next one is going to be Donald Trump saying he got money put aside for the J6ers to give them reparations. And y'all, they did the calculations on the money that he got put aside, already got the money put aside. All right. Each insurrectionist from January 6th, y'all, I want y'all to think about this because we've been fighting for well over a century for reparations. They will get $1 million a piece. Did you hear me? If Donald Trump is able to give this money out, which he got put aside and everything, he got this money already put aside. Each one will get $1 million a piece for breaking the law. Remember, he pardoned them as soon as you don't pardon somebody unless they already got a criminal record. All right. So when he got in office, he pardoned these criminals. And now he's getting ready to give them $1 million a piece for $1.8 billion he got put aside. And you wait until you hear what I got to say. And you Democrats, y'all ain't shit. Donald Trump already got the money put aside for reparations. And y'all, instead of doing the same thing for us, you gonna give us some shitty ass HR 40. You give us HR 40 and they're getting set up for actual reparations. All of you motherfuckers need to resign as far as I'm concerned. You're not a good representation for us at all. HR 40. So anyway, y'all, I will see you at 1:45. Shalom, family.